here. Okay, we are good. Good morning and welcome to our Prospect Park Town Hall. I'm going to share my screen right now so you guys can see our presentation. We're going to go through, I'll introduce our panelists to you, and then we will get that up first. All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Prospect Park Town Hall. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I know this is not how we all wanted to start our school year, but in light of what's going on in the world, I think that we've put together a really good plan for doing what we can for all of our students, for making this the best possible school year that it can be under the current circumstances. So I know that I speak for our school board, our administrators, our teachers, all of our staff, that we are going to do everything we can, and we're working around the clock to really make sure that we're doing everything we can for our students, and we'll keep checking on what's going on, and we'll get them back into school as soon as possible. Okay, I just want to take a second to introduce our panelists. Bernadette Riley, our superintendent, is here with us today. I'm here, Robert Kelly, the principal of Prospect Park School, for those of you who don't know yet. Kim Boswell is here. She's our new assistant principal. I'll give her a second to introduce herself in a minute. And Sue Price is our STEM teacher. Sue will also be helping us present as we go through and talk about some of our new changes with technology that will be going on today for this year. So we'll start with Superintendent Riley. Go ahead.
Thank you, Bob. Good morning, everyone. I hear myself.
We hear you.
I'm hearing an echo. So I'm not sure if everybody else is hearing that or it's just me. I apologize.
You sound good.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you to this team for putting this presentation together, and welcome to our parents. As Mr. Kelly said, this is not the ideal way that we anticipated the start of the new school year, but the district has been working diligently for the last 6 months in preparation for either a hybrid model start to the school year or potentially a virtual. We're working very closely with the Chester County Department of Health, and our goal is, as long as those numbers are safe and the recommendation is a thumbs up from the Chester County Department of Health, we do anticipate bringing our students back that first week of October. I am on here just to, again, welcome you back, reiterate the fact that we want our children in school, and that we are prepared to start the year off virtually and transition to a hybrid model when the time comes. And hopefully that'll be as soon as possible. So with that being said, I will turn it back over to Mr. Kelly. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Boswell, as the new AP at Prospect Park School. We're excited to have her. And also to Ms. Price. She's been working real hard this summer. She's going to talk to you a little bit about Schoology today, which is the new learning management platform that we'll be utilizing this year. The start to the virtual year is going to look very different than it did in the spring. I know that has been a concern of many of our parents, but it's going to look very different, definitely more robust and much more interaction with teachers delivering lessons via Zoom. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Kelly. Thank you very much. I do have to step off for a bit, but I will be coming back on and listening. Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you, Mrs. Riley. At this time, I just want to give Ms. Boswell, our new assistant principal, a chance to introduce herself, as I know she is new to all of you. We're just getting to know her, and then I think she's going to be a great fit here at Prospect Park. So, Ms. Boswell, please go ahead.
Sure. Good morning, Prospect Park. Families, I'm really excited to be here. I just wanted to share a little bit about me. So this isn't the way I wanted to meet you either, and especially with the staff. Meeting them via Zoom has been quite the challenge, but we're going to get through this together. So I come to you from locally. I live in Ridley. I grew up in Ridley. I know that's not what you want to hear as Interboro folks, but if you notice, the Interboro symbol's way bigger than the Ridley one. So I do have 2 little people at home, and a dog and a husband. So I get it. We're all in this together. I have school-age children, so I understand what you're going through. I also went to Newman University for both of my undergraduate and graduate degrees in early childhood, elementary, and special education, and then educational leadership. So I'm super excited to be here. I worked in the Delaware County area at the Chester Community Charter School for many years in multiple capacities, the William Penn School District, and most recently before Interboro, I was an assistant principal at a middle school in Pottstown in Montgomery County. So I am super excited to be here, and if you need anything, my information is on the website now, so feel free to reach out, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Ms. Boswell. So again, we're going to get into the presentation today. Our goal is to just give you as much information as we can for the start of the school year. Because it's going to be so different, we want you to be comfortable. And I ask that all of you use the question and answer feature, so please submit questions. When we're finished going through the PowerPoint, as Boswell will read the questions, we'll try to answer as many as we can. If we don't have a good answer for you, we will get a good answer for you. So please rest assured that we will take all your questions, so please put them into that question and answer segment. So to start off, we are going to look at what will the schedule look like. So again, we're going to talk about this initial part of the school year, getting started, where the kids are starting remotely at home. An idea of what we can expect for our 1st through 6th graders. We can expect their morning to start at around 8:15, where they will have an invitation to join a Zoom with their teacher for just a short homeroom period. You know, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, we'll try to make it as normal as possible for our kids, and we'll go through the morning announcements. And we're trying to have that set up so then almost every case, the students will be getting that homeroom period with the same teacher that they'll have during the first instruction period. So they'll just simply roll right into each other. After that, they'll have, again, this is a sample schedule. Your children might not have everything in this exact same order. But throughout the day, there will be a period of unassigned time. That's the power block time. If we were in person, it would be an actual classroom power block time. But virtually, this would be the asynchronous time for students to work away from Zoom, to work on their own, to get some more work done under the guidance of their teachers. They'll direct them where to go and what work they need to finish, but that'll be some time for them. They'll also have a block of time dedicated to science, social studies, and writing. It won't all happen at once, but during that block of time throughout the week, sometimes it'll be science, sometimes social studies, and just about every day there will be writing involved. The lunch break for the students will be, again, time offline. It's time for them to just relax at their own pace, enjoy their lunch, have some time. When we are here at school, it will look different. They will be with one of our teachers during that lunch time. They will also have a special every day. Again, while we're in this setting away from home, and then when we come back, they'll be with the teacher, with the specialists. Now, the way things are working this year, as opposed to previous years, they will be assigned a single special for a full marking period. Now, the elementary, I know we operate in trimesters, but we have divided the year into 4 equal parts so that they will have the four different specials throughout the year. And they will be with that teacher every day for that marking period, partly because we're trying to minimize the amount of interactions so that we don't have one teacher interacting with every student in the building, and we try to limit them to the 1 grade level at a time. After that, they'll have their math block, and then to close out the day, there will be time when teachers are available through office hours, and that's a time when they'll be available. And if you or the student needs to work with them, you can reach out. They can do a Zoom together, or just communicate through email or what have you. We'll go back to the power block just for a second. The power block is going to be a time also for students who need other services. So if you have a child who needs gifted services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, or speech, Title I services, ELL services, counseling, social groups, things like that. To the extent possible, we will try to make all of that fit into a power block or make it available throughout the week. Doesn't mean it'll be every day, but throughout the week, we'll try to get as much of that in through that power block as possible and avoid having the students miss other content areas. For our middle and high school, we'll focus on middle school, sorry. For our middle school, things will look a little bit different. Again, 6th grade, typically we consider that part of our middle school, but that schedule looks like what we just described for 1st through 6th. Our 7th and 8th graders are going to have a different schedule because they'll be operating on an A day and a B day. to try to keep it simple, if your student is assigned to an A day class, their A days are Monday and Wednesday and every other Friday. And if your child has a B day, their B days are Tuesday and Thursday and every other Friday. Now, if we were in person, that means that your child would come to school on their day. If it's an A day, they'd be coming in person and they'd be following a schedule that looks like this. They would have their major subjects. And then on their non-day, so for an A student, during that A student's B day, that's when they would be at home online doing that synchronous time with their teachers. And the opposite is true for our students who attend school on the B days. They'll come to school on those B days, but then they'll at home on the A day, they'll have that synchronous time with their teachers. They'll have those Zoom sessions. Now that we are in this setting to start the school year, all of those times will be at home and it will be synchronous. So if you signed up for your students to be in person or to be synchronous, then during their A day, while we're away from school, they'll follow a schedule where they'll be meeting with their teachers for those longer periods of time, and they will be following that schedule and they will be Zooming together. So for the most part, we're looking at 90-minute blocks. You'll see here that ELA and math are 90 minutes. And you'll notice that it only says science, doesn't say social studies. The way we're operating this year is that we will have the students get a much longer block of each of those subjects, but only have the subject every other marking period. So essentially, they're getting the same amount of science, the same amount of social studies they would during another year. But by doing it this way, they get a longer period of time. And we feel that's going to be helpful to them. In one sense, they're doing all of this work removed from school. They can focus on 3 major subjects instead of having all 4. So we hope that is helpful. Also, the longer period of time gives them time to dive deeper into specific areas instead of having the interruptions. So on their A day student, there is that 90-minute block of time. What that will look like is during the 90 minutes, the teachers, and it will vary by subject and by teacher and how they operate, but they will have a good portion of that as that synchronous on-screen time through Zoom. They may instruct the kids that, okay, for the next 30 minutes, you're working on your own. So they may like darken their screens. They might just work on their own a bit, but then they can come back together and rejoin that session. On the B day, okay, again, this is while we're at home, the B day will look similar to what it would look like if we were in person. They will still have that synchronous Zoom time at home, but for a shorter block of time. Now we're looking at a 45-minute block of time, or where they can be Zooming with their teachers and so on. So that's what it should look like for our 7th and 8th grade. Again, the changes this year are with science and social studies. And again, while we are at home versus in person, everything will look like it is synchronous. The only exception there is with specials. So the specials, similar to what I said earlier about our elementary classes, they will have the same specialist for a marking period. For those of you who signed up to be at the in-person school while we're away from school, those specials will still have that synchronous time where the teacher is meeting online, they're doing their Zoom sessions during their A day, if they're an A day student, during their B day, if they're a B day student. But on their other day, when they're not when they're not slated to be in school, all of those specials will have an asynchronous time. So the students will just work on through Schoology. We'll talk about Schoology later, but they'll work online just to complete the work for that special, but they won't have that synchronous portion on their non-school day. I didn't say that right, but on the day that if they're an A student, it'll be on their B day that would happen. Okay. Moving on, I want to talk about attendance. There is a change in how we're taking attendance this year, so please forget about how we took attendance in the spring. Using the guidance from the state and what they're requiring from attendance, teachers will take attendance every day with the children they see in front of them during their Zoom sessions. But attendance cannot be just participation in the class, just being present. It actually does have to include a demonstration of work completion. So there will be some sort of element that they have to complete during each of those sessions. And probably the most frequent of those would be in the form of an exit ticket. Okay, so there will be a task that they'll be asked to do and they'll have to submit something. But there is time for them to get that done. If you, when you signed up, you were expecting your child to be here, and now the fact that we're still at home, that creates a hardship, and your child is not able to keep up with this schedule where they can be in person, Maybe they need your assistance and you're not available, so you're going to have to do some of this during non-school hours. That is fine. We will absolutely be flexible and count these days as being present as long as they're keeping up with the work and getting the work done, even though you can't do it by the time during the school day when it would have been done, or to be present during some of the Zoom sessions when you would have been. So again, during the time when we're not here, attendance will be a combination of being present during the Zoom sessions and doing the work, demonstrating that, mostly, like I said, through an exit ticket. We'll talk briefly about our breakfast and lunch. We still have the availability of the breakfast and lunch. The USDA has extended the program that we've been running all summer, where all families were welcome to participate, and you could sign up, and students who are 18 years of age or younger are eligible to receive free meals. Now, the USDA has extended that program through December 31st. So through the rest of this calendar year, everyone who wants to sign up can come and pick up meals at school. Now, the way we'll be distributing it, very similar to how we have been through the shutdown last year and through the summer. The pickup days are Mondays and Thursdays. The timing will be 2:30 to 5:30. That is a change. So during that block of time on a Monday or a Thursday, you can drive by the front of the school, pull right up to that front door, let us know who the child is and how many meals you're getting, and our staff will bring the meals out to your car. We'll place them down, and you can take them home. This begins Thursday. So this coming week, there will not be any pickup on Monday. It begins on Thursday. And I'm going to show you this. To sign up for it, you will be getting, those of you who've been at Prospect Park are used to getting these announcements through your email. You will be getting this probably later today. And in there is a link. You also got that link in the last message. That was the back to school packet. There is a link in there. So read this over. Typically, we'll have signups happening. You can always go to the website and sign up, or when you get this message, save it, so you'll always have that link to go back and sign up. Or, like I said, go to the website, and you can sign up weekly. Each week, go in. If you want to take part in the program and receive those meals, please sign up and get the meals each week. And like I said, for this coming week, as soon as you get this message, please go ahead and sign up if you haven't already. So that they can prepare the meals. That will be for Thursday. But every week after that, the sign up time, we ask you to please sign up in advance, and then so that they know the numbers of meals to prepare, and then you can pick them up on Monday or Thursday. Talk about immunizations. There's no change currently as to which shots your children have to have. This is all the same. I highlighted the only change that we're making this year. Typically each year we have additional immunizations that are required for our 7th graders, and we do a screening to see who has that. But then very early on in September, there's a deadline where you have to have that done. We are extending that deadline to November 17th. So for any of you who have children going into 7th grade, where we do the additional screening to make sure they have their immunizations, please note that we will allow that to go through till November 17th. So if you haven't done that yet, please talk to your doctors and find out when you can get those done. But everything else is the same requirements, the same expectations for immunizations. For contacting our staff, you can always email our staff. The easiest way to email, if you know who the teachers are, it's firstname.lastname@interborosd.org. If you are not sure of that, you can go to the district website. You can search the staff, look for the name, because maybe you don't know the first name, but you can search there and you can find the email addresses there. And also, once the children get started, they'll be contacted by their teachers. Again, we'll talk about Schoology in a couple of minutes, but when they're notified of who the teachers are, there will be links in there, and you'll be able to see who the staff are and how to contact them. But again, their email address is probably going to be the quickest and the easiest way to get a hold of them, and then have them be able to get back to you at a good time. Technology assistance. If for any reason you have any technology needs, and this of all years, we'll be relying more heavily on technology than ever. Our tech department has been fantastic. They've been working so hard to respond to all of the issues that are coming up, and the best way to do that, make sure that you're getting the quickest response, is just to use this email address, techhelp@interborosd.org. Again, all of our email addresses end with the @interborosd.org. But when you want help with tech, email tech help. They'll get right to it. By sending that email in, it joins the queue, it's in line, and they will get to that issue, and they won't close it until they've helped you fix your problem. Okay. Materials and device distribution. Now that will begin next week, and I want to start off letting everyone know that we are currently preparing boxes to go home for all students. Okay, all students are going to get the materials, and with that, there are some things that we need you to know before we get there. We'll talk about the schedule in a minute, but let's just, just so you know, if you are a family who was asked to re-register, you have to complete that process or you will not get any materials to start the school year. Okay, I'll repeat that. That does not mean every family needs to contact the re-registration office and ask about it. If you were contacted and you were told that you need to complete the re-registration process and you didn't do it yet, you must get that done before we can give out materials starting Monday. So please make sure that you satisfy that requirement. Also, in the email that went out last week, the message that said back to school packet, there is a link in there for technology equipment agreement. Now, I will send another one of these out today, and I will get rid of everything else. It'll just be to remind everyone to finish this agreement, the technology agreement. You'll get this message. Please click on that link, complete the survey, because if that's not done either, we can't give you a device. That said, we're not asking people to sign up for devices. Every student is eligible and will receive a device from us. This form is allowing us, it's acknowledging the agreement and allowing us to give you that device. So don't feel like you need to sign up for the device, you just need to fill out the agreement, all right? For the pickup, and I'll go over the schedule in a second, but when we do have that pickup time, we do want students to be accompanied by a parent, so please come to school. If you came to school last year to pick up your materials at the end of the year, same thing. We're going to pull up to the front door, form a line of cars. We ask that you please put your child's name and current grade level in the window, because as you're pulling up, it's going to take a few minutes. We'll have staff outside. They'll look, as soon as they see a name and grade level, they'll come inside to get your child's equipment, and it's going to, and their supply box. It'll take a few minutes, because what we'll do is we'll take that name, we'll compare it to our list, make sure that you are registered properly, make sure that you completed the technology agreement, make sure that's all finished. And if everything's good, they'll bring out to your car your device and your entire box of materials. So please, again, make sure that you complete that form. I'll just note right now, if you're unable to complete that form, we will have paper copies here. But I do ask that if you are, use your phone, get online, just tap on that link and complete that form beforehand. If you're walking up to school, if you know our front door, there is a ramp. I ask that you please walk and head up the ramp, and you'll see cones set up that are 6 feet apart. So if there is a line, please keep your 6 feet of distance. Okay. Now, the boxes that you are taking home, the district did purchase a ton of these banker boxes. They're very sturdy boxes with all of the material in it. We ask that you please, please, please maintain these boxes, take care of them, make sure all the materials are returned in the box, because when the kids do come back to school, and we are doing everything we can to make sure we reopen school as soon as possible and bring them back, this has to come with them, and it will stay in school, because children will not be using lockers. They will not be traveling to different places and having materials. They'll have this box at their desk, and they'll have all the materials in it. So please make sure that these boxes are cared for, that all the materials stay with that box. Use them, absolutely, but keep the materials there, because when we do return for in-person learning, we will have you bring those back with. Okay? And when you come up, please wear a mask and follow all of the current guidelines for social distancing. Thank you. When is the pickup? So starting Monday, if you have a child in grades 6, 7, and 8, the times are the same for all 3 of these days. The times are 11 to 1:30, 2 to 3:30, and 4 to 6:30. On Tuesday, we invite you to come up for your 3rd, 4th, or 5th grader, and on Wednesday, you can come up for their 1st and 2nd graders. If you have students in multiple grades, try to wait until, if you have a 7th grader and a 5th grader, wait till the 5th grade day and pick up both of them. If you've got a 1st grader and the others, wait till that 3rd day and pick up all of them. The only reason I say that is because we are going to, there's a lot going into these boxes. We're still working on it right now. We may have everything ready to go by Monday, but we may be waiting on materials for those first and second grade boxes. So I don't want you to have to come twice. So if you want those, please come on that third day, so we know that the first and second grade box is ready to go.
And we are waiting for materials for first and second grade.
And just again, the times for all 3 days are between 11 and 1:30, 2 and 3:30, 4 and 6:30. Talk real quickly about Netiquette, okay? The expectations for student behavior while they're attending school through Zoom. Real simple. There's a lot written here, but real simple. We just want our students to treat this as they would behave at school. It's same expectations, school appropriate behavior, school appropriate dress. If we look at it, the students should be in an area where they're not distracted by background noise. Okay, they should be on mute and wait for their teacher to recognize them and unmute. I know that those of you who have been using Zoom during this time know that it can be really hectic if too many people are talking all at once. So yeah, with one person speaking at a time, using that chat function. If your student is frustrated and they feel like they're not able to speak or something, or they're not getting a turn, please encourage them. Use the chat to type a quick message to the teacher so the teacher knows that they're frustrated, and then they can make sure that they get the attention that they need. Students should be respectful, again, same as they would in the classroom. Remember that this is a learning tool and it is still a school setting, so we do expect students to behave accordingly. Also, if there is inappropriate behavior online, you could be contacted by me or the assistant principal about that behavior. So this is a school environment. Students are not permitted to record, take pictures, or screenshots of anything that is happening during these sessions, and please make sure they're not doing this and putting it on social media. Again, because this is a school setting, that behavior will be treated just like as if it were in school. Also, the setting, we ask that you please ensure that your students are learning from a quiet and, as much as possible, a distraction-free environment. Make sure the TV is off, things like that. Also, younger and older siblings, please do your best to make sure that they are not interrupting the child while they're learning. Please note that this is not a time when the teacher is Zooming with the kids. This is class time. So it's not a time for individual conferences with the teacher. And again, I'm not to push you off. If you have any questions, any concerns at all, please reach out to the teacher. Please reach out to the office. It makes no sense for you to sit at home and be frustrated with what's going on. If there's something that we could be doing better, we want to know about it. Whatever we can do to help, we're going to make sure that we're doing that. Okay? We understand that you may need to be helping our youngest students, and that it is difficult for them. This is new. A lot of this is new. But we ask that you limit your help and your support to just getting them online, getting them participating. But we need to make sure that they're doing the work with their students, with their teachers, and so that you're not assisting them with their classwork. Please make sure these kids are not using their cell phones, okay? Unless it's directly related to the class. There may be something really cool. There might be a nice app where the teacher wants the kids using it to participate. Other than that, please make sure they're not doing that at all. And please, again, it's a school setting. It's a school setting. They shouldn't be laying down. They should be dressed appropriately. We just want them to try to make this as normal as possible in a very unnormal time. I'm going to turn things over now. Again, I know there's probably a lot of questions, and I can't see the ones that are coming in, but we will get to that as soon as possible. So I'm going to turn this over to Mrs. Price now, and she's going to walk us through everything that we'll be doing with Schoology. And like I said, as soon as she's finished with that, we'll come back together and we'll answer some questions. All right, Mrs. Price.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to be using Schoology as the program for your students to go through, get to all their courses. So today's goal is to let you see what Schoology looks like from the student standpoint on the inside of Schoology. We don't expect that you're going to remember everything that you see, but this will at least get you familiar with what it looks like. And I think you'll find that it's intuitive, and once you kind of get used to it, you'll be able to find what you're looking for pretty easily. The first thing that your child will do when they log in is to get into the Chromebook. So to get into the Chromebook, they will be using their username and password. The username to get on the Chromebook is their first name dot last name, and their password will be the letters ISD, for Interboro School District. So ISD and then their lunch number. Okay. So again, the login is the first name dot last name, and the password will be ISD and their lunch number. All right. Once they log in to Schoology, can you go back one? Yeah, they'll come to this page here. There's 3 tabs at the top. You'll see that the one tab says sign into Google. That's the one they will use to get into Schoology. Okay, so when they click on that, go ahead to the next one. It'll take them to this picture, or to this page, I'm sorry. Because they've logged into the Chromebook with their username and password, this should come up with their school email address on there. If you don't see it, they will have to type it in, but it should be there just like you see here. And then they would just click on that and it'll take them to the next page. All right, so it brings them here. This is the home page. It's the recent activity page, but it's considered the home page of Schoology. So when your child logs in, this is the page that they will land on. Just a couple things to mention. Up at the top where you see Interboro School District and the iBucks icon, that is the home button. So if at any time you're in Schoology and you get lost, you don't know how to get back and you want to start over, they can just click on that Interboro School District and it'll bring them back to this page. Okay. And this page is recent activity, so it's going to show announcements and any updates that your child's teacher has put out there for your child to see. So the Schoology defaults to this page, so this should be the page they see. A teacher can change that, but I think for the most part, everybody will be on here rather than the course description page, because this is where the daily information will show up. On this page, they can also go to their grades. They click on this grades here, they'll see the grades for all their courses. This black bar that runs across the top is kind of like the navigational bar for the whole, throughout the Schoology. Just while we're on this page, I was going to mention, you'll see the courses next to grades up there on the bar. We'll get back to that and talk more detail about that. Next to that is groups. This is where maybe your teacher wants to break down the students into smaller reading groups, or maybe they're working on a group project. They can create a group and then the students can communicate through that group. Resources, the next thing there is for your students to save information they want for their course. So they might have links that they want to go back to on a website. Maybe they have some images for a project they're working on, so they'll want to save those. And maybe they'll just have another web page or information for a research project that they'll want to keep there. So that's what the resources for. Okay. You'll also see on the recent activity page on the right-hand side there, you'll see these links. These are the assignments that are due. At the bottom there, you'll see upcoming, or like kind of in the middle, you'll see upcoming. So all the assignments that have due dates will show up in this list. If your teacher, if the child's teacher has an assignment that they're doing during the class time that they didn't put a due date on, it will not show up here. This is just things that have a due date on them. And at the top there, at the top of the circle there, you see overdue. Any overdue assignments will also show up here. So this is a good place when you first come in for your child to look and see, okay, where am I? Where am I? Am I on target where I need to be? Do I have things that I need to get caught up on? Continuing across that bar, we have some other icons over here. There is a search that they can search on the with the hourglass or the magnifying glass. They can search the Schoology website to find, maybe they're looking for a specific assignment or something. They can find it that way. Next to that is a app button. This app button is, we're going to be working with the teacher if they're using special apps. There also is a calendar button, which is next to that, and that will take them to their calendar where they can see all the due dates for all the stuff that they have to do in every class. So in addition to that upcoming where they have the links on the side there, they can see everything in the calendar. We're going to come back to the envelope there for messages, and then they also have next to that is a bell for notifications, and those bells, that bell indicates that they do have a message from their teacher or something. So they really should get in the habit of looking at that, see if there's any messages or announcements that are popping up there. And next to that, you'll see your child's name will show up right there. Okay, so this is where their information is going to be. We can go ahead and go to the next page on this one. Okay, so when they look at this button. When they click on it, they will also be able to add information about themselves. They can add, information about maybe they want to let the teacher know that they have brothers and sisters. They might want the teacher to know that they learn best by watching videos, or maybe they do better by reading articles. They can kind of personalize it for their teacher to see what their likes and dislikes are. All right, so then when they click on their name, on the next page, it'll bring them up to the profile page. You see there where you can see about me and activities and interests and contact information. But where it says iBucks, there'll be a generic picture there when they first log in, but they will be able to change their profile picture. I think all teachers will be working with their students to change that picture. So their teacher will walk them through that process, but they will hit that edit button, and that will take them to where they can upload their picture. And we just ask that the pictures are school appropriate and they follow the digital citizenship rules. Okay. All right, so going back to the courses button, this brings you to the course page. This is going to be the page where you see the courses by picture. I believe the page only holds up to 12, so if you do have more than 12 courses, I'll show you in a minute where you can go for that. But this is where the courses are going to be, and each teacher is setting up their own picture to help the students differentiate between the courses, so it's easier to find the course that they're looking for. So over in the right-hand corner there, at the top, under your child's name, you'll see My Courses. If that is clicked, it will take it to a list of courses rather than the pictures. So maybe your student likes the list, they can go that way, or if there's more than 12, they would have to click on that button. All right, so when they click on the course, it'll bring them to their welcome page of the course. We are trying to be as consistent across the district as possible. So every course will have a banner similar to this one. It says, "Welcome to 4th grade STEM." So every class will have their banner identifying the course. There will be buttons of some sort. Here we see the 4 buttons, and every class should have a tech support button and a resource button. The other buttons will kind of change a little bit based on grade level and how the teacher has the course set up. But you should see these buttons that are links to other information and folders that contain the information. I think on the next page, go ahead. On the next page, it shows here that some other important links to know about. That materials button that it's sitting on right now, that is the home page for the course. So if they click on some of these other links and they don't know how to get back to this welcome page, they would just click on materials and it'll bring them right back to their course. They also have the option to check the updates for the course. They can also see the grades for the course. Attendance we will not be using, so they will not have to do anything with that particular tab there. And then they can see the members in the group and any programs that your teacher is using, they will be able to click on that and take it to that program. So the teacher will walk them through how to use that. Down at the bottom there you see Computer Basics. That is a folder. All the courses will be set up with some format of unit, first, topic, and then lessons. It may not be called that, but that's kind of the order that it will be. So it'll be consistent from class to class and student to student. So when they click on Computer Basics, we'll go to the next slide. It'll show what's inside the folder. And in this case, there's 3 more folders. Your teacher will work with your students to teach them what the different icons are, but every kind of function has a different icon. So folders have like this folder icon. There's a link, you'll have an icon for links, tests, assessments. So they'll get used to what those are, so you can easily find what they're looking for. You'll also see over on the right-hand side, the upcoming. You see the lessons. So that gives them an idea of what's coming up in that lesson and what they'll need to work on. Okay. Back to the black bar at the top, the envelope there. This is where your student can message the teacher. So if they're working on something and they have a question, they don't understand what to do, they can always send an email to their teacher. They'll put their teacher's email address in there, which the teacher will provide, a brief subject, and then they can type their message. And it's also noted that they can add, at the bottom there's 4 little icons. They can add files, like if they're taking a picture, they can add a link. Also, there's a microphone there that they can record their response. So if your students on the younger side and they're not really comfortable typing, they could click that microphone and just record their question. And then when they hit send, it goes right to the teacher, and then they'll get that email. Okay. All right, so that's what Schoology looks like from the inside. I think you'll find it is very intuitive, and that it is, once you get used to it. I know those of you who use Google Classroom, it's kind of that and a little bit more because it keeps everything in one place. So hopefully this has been helpful. And I just want to make a note, there will be a way for parents to get in to see your child's information, but right now they're still working on that, the mechanics of that. So once we know that's available, that'll be sent out to you. Okay, turn it back over to you, Mr. Kelly.
Unmute myself. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll go through and we'll see if there are any questions that we can answer. Ms. Boswell, what do we have?
So I have one question from the chat, which was, when will we receive a supply list?
Okay, actually the supply lists did go out. If you look on the website, you'll see links to that. One of those emails that I sent that I talked about earlier, one of those came out with links to each of the different grade levels, but you can go to the website now to see the supply list recommended, and it's separated by grade level.
Awesome.
Now, added to that, there is, like I said, next week, there are a lot of supplies that can be picked up from school. That is not the same as the supply list. The supply list is posted for what you need. And if you can't find it, please just email the building and we'll send it to you. Okay.
Another question that came in through the Q&A was a Schoology question. What was the password again for the students?
Right, the password is going to be ISD, short for Interboro School District. So ISD, and their lunch number will immediately follow that.
And Ms. Price, that's not caps, that's just regular ISD, it's not capital, correct?
Correct.
And that was all of the questions that were in the question and answers for right now. Let me check the chat because I just saw something pop up. And it was actually the same question that was typed into the question and answer. So
thank you. Well, let me just say again to everyone, thank you for joining us. And please, I'll say it again, if you are frustrated or you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. The last thing we want is for you to be frustrated at home, not getting the answers that you need. If you need an answer, please reach out to us. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. And again, we're looking forward to getting our kids back in the building as soon as possible. And right now, our target date is that Monday in October. I think it's October 5th is that Monday in October. So we're looking forward to that date. We can't wait to see the kids, guys. This is a really dull place without the kids here. So we're looking forward to getting them back as soon as possible. So please hang in there. And again, I'll stress this, I can't stress it enough. Don't stay home and be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated, but at least reach out to us with your questions and we'll do our best to answer them for you. Okay.
Mr. Kelly, there is another question in there that I'd like to answer. Do you feel the school will open the first week of October? That is the date we are striving for, but a lot of that will be determined based on where the positivity rates are and what is presented to us through the Chester County Health Department. So we're striving for that October date. That's our goal. So again, we'll be monitoring that, and our goal would be to give parents at least a week's notice if we are going to be sticking to that day, or if for some reason, based on the number of cases and that positivity rate increases, that we would have to delay it for a week or two. But our goal is the first week of October. And that communication will come out of my office.
Thank you, Mrs. Riley.
Yep.
All right, this recording, this meeting is being recorded. So if you know of any parents who missed it, they can watch this, or if you know of any that weren't able to make on, we're going to be back here again tonight. They can click on the link for tonight's meeting. But like I said, this will be posted and you'll be able to see it. And
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Before you wrap up, just so we can address it while the individual is still on here, we just got another question. When will the teacher and the class selections be posted? That's for online for eSchool, and that should be posted today, should be going live.
Yeah, the Home Access Center was disabled while they were organizing the information in there so that you wouldn't get contradicting information as changes were made. But now that things are set, that will be turning on today. I think it's at 3 o'clock today. Let me turn back on so you can log in and you can find out the teacher names. All right, thanks again for being here, everyone. Be safe.